What's up, everybody? Zarrell here for a Yu-Gi-Oh! 101 video, a unique Yu-Gi-Oh! 101 video, I should say. And the reason why this video in particular is going to be so unique is because, for one, this video is completely impromptu. I had no way, like, I didn't know how I was going to approach it. I didn't necessarily know how I was going to talk about it, talk about the topic at hand, until I just, sat down and just told myself, you know what, just do it. That's what he said. Anyway, all silliness aside, you can look at the title of the video, and you can get just a general idea as to what I'm going to be speaking about. And I need to throw this disclaimer out there as well. Um, this isn't necessarily coming from a bad place. I need you to understand that. I've been speaking on things like this since I first started doing the Yu-Gi-Oh! 101 series. You can go back to my first Yu-Gi-Oh! 101 discussion video, and you can see that I've always been like this. This isn't some new revolution or new revelation of mine where I'm just, you know, having some epiphany and I just decided to speak on this because I just recently found out. No, it's just gotten to the point where personally I feel like the shit has hit the fan, and I haven't seen nobody else speaking on it, so fuck it, why not? You know, um, understand that this is coming from somebody who has been playing this game since 2002. I got my start on a Game Boy Color video game. Actually, it was a game on the Game Boy Nintendo, but I played it on the Game Boy Color, so that's when I first got started. It was Dark Duel Stories. 2006, 2007, that's when I started getting involved with the online community in Yu-Gi-Oh! And, but my experience dates back to 2002 when the game first came to the United States. Understand that this is coming from somebody that still has a lot of passion for this game. Like regardless of who leaves, who comes back, or whatever, whether the game decreases in popularity or increases in it, it doesn't matter to me. I still have the same amount of passion that I've always had, if not more. You know, understand that this is coming from somebody who has beaten, lost to, and had to deal with the aftermath of the people that I'm referring to, that certain group of people that I'm referring to in the title. I've seen new players come into the game that wanted to learn, get misled, and be tricked into, giving free wins on sites like Duel Network and Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro. I've had people that I've dueled who were new to the game, who just started playing the game, I would say about like 1 or 2 weeks ago. Or, I mean, like 1 or 2 weeks prior to them playing me. And they were mistaught by said people. And for me to have to go and reteach them the proper way of playing this, when a person who is considered to be amongst that group of people that I have in the title of this video, for them to trick new people like that right there is just, come on, man. And then to have those same people how can I put it? To have those same people try to talk down on somebody because they don't play these highly abusable, broken, infinite loop strategies or builds that are obscenely overpowered. You know what I mean? I've had people question me, why are you playing this? Why are you playing that? And literally trying to talk down on me because of what I choose to play. When they're the ones net decking. And when you net deck, you literally just remove all rights to say anything negative about anybody in terms of what they're playing. Let me just say that right there, in my humble opinion. And again, I don't see anybody else on YouTube and within the Yu-Gi-Oh community speaking on things like this. At least I haven't, so forgive me if there's a video out there somewhere where somebody is, but as I've stated in past Yu-Gi-Oh 101 discussion videos, tips videos, etc., etc., I'm gonna rip some assholes so wide that you're gonna be shitting out of your belly button. Feelings will be hurt, and people are gonna question, oh, is he upset? Is he, oh, is there a problem? Is, joking around like that. Understand where this is coming from. This is coming from somebody who has to deal with the bullshit. And now I'm speaking on the bullshit. It's simple as that. So you can take this video as a rant. You can take this as me just venting. You could even call it bitching. It doesn't matter. You can comment under the video. I don't police my comments. Say whatever the fuck you want. You know, it doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is, based on my and many other people's experiences, and I'm pretty sure they're going to speak up, underneath this video as well. Back when I first started talking about the Six Samurais, when they were going crazy, etc., etc., it really gets to the point to you ask yourself, what the fuck? Another thing is, I gotta eat my own words, and I'm gonna go deeper into this, later on in the video. Originality in Yu-Gi-Oh is not dead. Now, I was one to say this, a couple years back. I said that originality was dead, and at the time, I honestly felt I was right. And over the years, I just came to the realization that one, originality isn't dead. It's just that the people in this game are just lazy as fuck. In order for me to sit there and say that originality is dead, I would have to talk down on a lot of other people, including myself, who can make their own build, research cards and make their own build without having some online deck profile, just mimicking some online deck profile and then running with it like as if they came up with it themselves, and then talk shit to people that don't do that. That's the problem that I have with said people. And it's not always, top tier people or the people that consider themselves to be top tier, but you would think that if somebody is calling themselves quote unquote top tier or labeling themselves as such or acting as such, you would think they would carry themselves with a bit more integrity. And I know that asking for integrity on the internet is so far fetched. It's so, that's like asking for, you know, ice cream in a beer shop. It's literally might not happen. It's not likely to happen. But still, you know, I feel like this is something that needs to be spoken on. I think this is something that should be spoken on, and I'm exactly that's exactly what I'm going to do. And like what, 9 minutes into this video, and I'm still now throwing out disclaimers. But let's get started. So, as you see in the title, the name of this is Top Tier Players Are Boring. And this is something else that I've spoken on in the past, but not as in depth as I'm about to go into it right now. Or I'm not going to elaborate it. I haven't elaborated on it as much as I'm going to do. Again, this video is impromptu. I didn't think of it ahead of time. It's just on the spot. So forgive me if I'm not prepared. You know, that's basically what impromptu means, on the spot, basically. Um, top tier players in this game are insanely boring. They're boring to watch play the game. They're boring to duel. They're just boring. And to make matters even worse, they are some of the worst shit talkers with literally no leg to stand on. Again, this is all based on my and many other people's experiences. Your experience may vary, but I know that I'm speaking on truth when I talk about this. Have a lot of you guys watch my Yu-Gi-Oh! 101 Fan Day series, and in that video, in that series of videos, I've clearly stated years ago, uh, many videos ago, that it's certain decks that I just will not go up against. One, because people are tired of seeing them. Two, because there's plenty of video recorded duels on YouTube of said decks, and you see them so much to the point where you just get tired of seeing them over and over again. And when you come to my videos, at least you know you're going to get something fresh, like you're going to get something creative for the most part. Every now and then I might play an archetype that you seen, but I don't necessarily play it in the same way or the typical net deck way that you would normally see it being used. I have my own methods. Ever since I started playing this game, I always made my own custom builds, and that hasn't changed. I take great pride in the builds that I make. Sometimes it takes me 2 to 3 weeks to completely do a build, and right now I can honestly say I'm the only person in Yu-Gi-Oh! Potentially in both the TCG and the OCG that has a deck that can consistently and efficiently summon Heart Earth Dragon and Sky Palace Gungandari. Two exceed monsters that nobody even cared to bother with because all the hype is around these other abusable, mind you, let me reiterate myself, highly abusable strategies. And this is something that's been going on since the beginning of Yu-Gi-Oh! And for matter of fact, let me just give you the rundown on some of the decks that have just been fucking ridiculous. Here's the thing with these top tier players. They're again, from my experience, they are quick to talk shit to you, but then about the decks that you're using, but yet they don't understand the game well enough to try to know. They don't understand the game well enough to make their own build, or they just don't give a fuck and they just don't worry about it. You have people in this game, you know, that simply net deck and talk shit about other people that want to play whatever. You cannot, I repeat, cannot sit there talk shit like you were the one that came up with that idea for the build, you know. And people can argue like, well, Konami made the cards, yeah, but and do you have to play these abusable strategies? Case in point, a lot of people play fighting games, and in a lot of fighting games like Tekken, uh, fighting games like Dead or Alive, and probably like several other fighting games you can probably think of, they always seem to have that one character that seems to have an insanely cheap tactics to where it's like they have to end up getting banned from like tournaments and things like that. Case in point, there's this game called Injustice God Among Us, and there was a character, I believe his name was Zod. Yeah, that Zod. So like for anybody that reads comic books and knows about Zod, and you know, that character ended up getting banned from tournaments, if I'm not mistaken, from fighting game tournaments, um, because he was just cheap, pretty much. It was like he had an advantage that was literally considered cheap over the other characters to the point where they said, okay, this guy can't be used in tournaments anymore. Imagine that cheap character being these infinite loop broken overpowered strategies in Yu-Gi-Oh, but they're legal. or at least for the time being. You know, and a lot of the newcomers, y'all won't even know some of these decks that I'm about to name, in the sheer ridiculousness that these top tier players always try to throw in your face, and then talk shit when you, if you just so happen to lose against these. And it's like, dude, you just beat me with a cheap build, and you're gonna talk shit to me? Like, really? Okay, whatever. But yeah, a lot of you newcomers that started playing the game, I would say about like 2 to 3 years ago, you won't know a lot of these decks that I'm finna name because this dates all the way back to the beginning. You know what I mean? And I might forget one or two because I'm going completely off of memory. Um, but it's like these guys, they will not touch a build. Or there's always this group of people in Yu-Gi-Oh, the top tier, broken loop, infinite loop strategy users, that they won't touch a build or like an archetype or what have you unless it's that one card that can make them so abusable and so spammable to the point where they just cheap as fuck. Talk about cheap as fuck builds. Let's talk about the Dragon Rulers. I know we're all happy they getting limited. Come January 1st, 2014. Yeah, but they weren't as ridiculous as that Heretics loop when Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon was at 3, right? No, scratch that. Even when Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon was at 1. No, how about that Infernity loop that they got going on right now? Y'all remember? Y'all know about that one? No, what about the Infernities? I believe it was the Infernities back when Trishula was still legal in this game. Yeah, Trishula, you remember that? That infinite loop where they would banish cards from your field hand and your graveyard, and there was like literally nothing you could do about it because it was an infinite loop. It was broken. What about the shooting Quasar build? Hyper Librarian, Fishboard Blaster. Y'all remember those cards? Infernities when launcher was at 3. I know some of us, remember when that shit was going rampant. The Inzectors when Hornet was at 3. Just blow up everything on your opponent's side of the field, and if you went second, oh shit, it didn't matter, because then you were able to attack first, and you can get an OTK off of just dumping one Hornet in the graveyard. So even after they limited to one, it was still ridiculous. What about the wind up loop? Let's talk about that shit for a moment. If you weren't active in Yu-Gi-Oh during that time, consider yourself lucky. Put it to you like this: the Dragon Rulers are considered a balanced deck. The typical net deck Dragon Ruler build that they got going on at this very moment is balanced compared to where their wind up loop was. The wind up loop was simple. Of course, those cards have been banned now, so you can't do the loop anymore. But the whole strategy was for you to, like on your first turn, you could literally just empty out your opponent's hand, and unless your opponent was playing something that could take advantage of all those discards, like not Dragon Rulers, but the Dark Worlds, you were just asked out because you would literally be so dependent on that next card draw um, to help you out, you wouldn't even be able to do anything. So 99% of the time, you were just fucked off the jump. What about Dust Trap Shoot? Y'all remember that card? Now, what about the Psychics when Mind Master was at 3, even after they limited it to 1? You know, let's talk about other fucking what was the name of that build? Uh, Teledad when Dark Armed Dragon was at 3. Yeah, you remember that shit. Yeah, that was fucking ridiculous. Now here's something from my real vets. What about the Flintlock loop? The Flintlock loop. Just increase your life points to an infinite amount constantly and meaninglessly, literally meaninglessly, because literally until your opponent just gets tired and just gives up. It's just like, this shit is fucking ridiculous. What about Substitute? You remember that? How that card was being used? No, better yet, what about Chaos Emperor Dragon? What about Fiber Jar? Now that's just to name a few of the builds. I'm pretty sure there's many more that I'm forgetting, and then some of you guys probably know that have been playing this game for almost as long as I have, or as long as I have. You guys can name probably one or two. Oh, the original Twilight build. That's another one. So this has been going on for like forever. And technically, I've pretty much been dealing with it forever. And it comes to the conclusion that these top tier motherfuckers are just boring as fuck. Let me show you a picture real quick. This picture is of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Championship 2013 final standings, uh, day one. Now, I want you to take a look at all the Dragon Ruler builds that they have there. How fucking ridiculous is it that they have this many Dragon Ruler builds? I mean, it's like one or two prophecy builds? No, let me see. Hold on, wait a minute. I gotta count these. I should have did this earlier. Let's see. One, two, three, four, five. All right, so they got like 26 builds here, and I see one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. 7 out of 26 builds are prophecies, and there was another list down here called the Dragon World, like the Dragon Duel World Championships, um, where I think it was like 10 more builds, and only one of them was stun. So out of this entire World Championship 2013, literally like 30, uh, like literally out of like I would say like 36 builds, 8 builds, 6 of those were prophecies, and one of them was a stun deck. Everything else was Dragon Rulers, and like I said, this is why I say these guys are boring as fuck. I don't know if you have to pay money to get into those world championships, or what have you. So like just to spectate in the audience. But if you do, I would literally be asking for my money back because it is so ridiculous and so boring to see the same thing so I would say so often in a world championships to the point where you're just like, damn, dude. So when you go up against these decks online, these builds online, and you just like, man, and then people get mad at me during Yu-Gi-Oh! 101 Fan Day when I refuse to go up against these builds. Understand where I'm coming from. This shit is just like ridiculous and boring and exhausting to the point where if I can figure out your entire fucking strategy based on the first cards you played, then I'm not gonna play you because there's no suspense there. There's no that. There's no. Oh man, I want to face this guy. Like, oh, this dude is actually playing something unique. You can play the same archetype that many other people have played, but you can, put your own twist on it. You can tweak it a little bit. You don't have to play the same carbon copy BS. And of course you may not figure that out off of based off the first card somebody plays, but when you see the same thing being used over and over again, and you see that first card get played, your attention goes from, oh man, I hope this dude isn't playing anything, typical, or maybe you don't even have any expectations when you go into the duel like me. And they play that card as like, oh, he's playing this. Oh, he's playing Dragon Rulers. Oh, he's playing the wind up loop. Oh, he's playing Inzectors. Really? You playing them bullshit as Inzectors, dog? You playing Inzectors, my nigga? You playing Inzectors, my nigga? You know what I'm saying? but it's really like disappointing to see that, and to have people. Again, like I said, it's not all top tier players. It's just that from my experience, these are the main ones that are doing it that I feel shouldn't be doing it. Now, forgive me if I hold top tier up to the, you know, up top where I feel that they act like they deserve to be on, but or whatever the case may be. I feel out of all people in Yu-Gi-Oh, top tier players should carry themselves with a bit more dignity than that. And again, this is the internet, and I know I'm asking for a bit much, and it's like no chance in hell I'm gonna get it. But this shit right here needs to be talked about. And again, this is coming from somebody who has beaten um, and lost to these type of people that use these builds, and I had to deal with the aftermath, and it was the same thing regardless if I beat them, regardless if I lost to him. It kind of reminds me of like Joey Wheeler from the first series of Yu-Gi-Oh. You remember the rare couple times that Yu-Gi-Oh or that Yugi had lost? What was one of the first things that Joey said? Oh, that punk must have cheated. Like, shut up, Joey. That's how I feel like when I see these dudes starting to complain after I beat them. Shut up, Joey. You know what I mean? Like, give it a fucking break already. Like, dude, you're net decking. You don't have no right to talk to shit to somebody that didn't net deck. Now, I'm not saying that net decking is wrong. I'm not trying to necessarily say that it's wrong. I'm saying that what it was made for, unfortunately, that's not as what it's being used for. Let me give you an analogy. For the people that's been playing on Dueling Network in particular, there used to be a button on there called the ass button. I literally do not. I am not making this up. For the people that have been playing this game, that has been playing on Dueling Network since I say like 2010, 2011, because I don't know, cause I believe they got rid of it around 2012. Um, Basically, it was the ass button, and it was acronyms for anti-sportsmanlike spirit. That he couldn't put anti-sportsmanlike conduct on there. I mean, like they really had to give it another name just so they can have like a novelty, you know, acronym name for anti-sportsmanlike spirit, just so they could spell out ass. I mean, never mind. I mean, man, it was just ridiculous. But yeah, it was a button that's called the ass button. And these net deckers, these top tier net deckers, oh my god, they were pissed when they lost. To the point where if you beat them, they would hit that ass button, and then this was more like a strike on your account. Put it to you like this. I know a couple of people that got banned because they got, for lack of better words, asked too much. So they pretty much got assed out. Yeah, yes, they got assed out. I'm just not thinking about that. They literally got assed out. And it was basically a way for sore losers, primarily the net deckers, to constantly, kind of like get payback on the people that beat them. You know what I mean? It's just like, get the hell up out of here. What it was designed for wasn't what it was being used for. It was being used for if somebody was, just constantly talking shit to you, and they were being rude, being disrespectful to the point you asked them. You asked them. You asked them. No matter how many times I say that, and that was a ridiculous time back on Dueling Network, man. And I know a lot of people can vouch for that time. That was ridiculous. I'm glad they got rid of that thing, but it was basically just a way for a sore loser to try to get some payback. Of course it was looked down on. Nobody liked it, and eventually, I think around 2012, they got rid of it. But basically, that's what online deck profiles have turned into. Sadly, it's nothing we can really do about it. I mean, they're there, what have you. But the whole thing for online deck profiles was simply like a method for you to, if you were new, it was simply just a method for the newcomers to get their hands on something that they could use just so they can learn the game from. Like, you know, and again, what it was designed for isn't what it's being used for. And it's inevitable. You're going to have these instances all the damn time. But it's sad when these net deckers, they claim to know so much and they know so little. And I feel bad for the newcomers that are coming into the game that run into idiots like this that constantly try to teach them things that they don't know. And then I'm dueling them, or maybe even you duel them. And it's just like, come on, man, you didn't learn the game? Well, dude, like I just started playing the game 3 weeks ago. Like, really? Like, did anybody else try to teach you the game? Where it was this other guy, saying, well, look, like, so like, do you remember what that guy was playing? Or things like that, or look, something. Do you remember anything about him? And then they tell you the name of somebody who net decks, and it's just like, oh wow, really, dude. And it's really like fucked up, to have to witness that so damn much. It's just like, come on, man. You really trying to trick the new guys coming in? You pushing people away from a good from a game that really is great. I enjoyed it, and I know a lot of other people can say that Yu-Gi-Oh is a great game. More people should be allowed to play it. Come on over. You know, Magic the Gathering is pretty much dying out. You don't see no kids playing Magic the Gathering these days. I was actually joking about this on Dueling Network. Like kids play kids play Yu-Gi-Oh. Magic the Gathering is for pedophiles. Like we were just joking around with that shit, but all jokes aside, don't take it seriously, Magic the Gathering fans. I know y'all motherfuckers gonna, you know, faces turning red like stop signs. But yeah, it's just like, come on, man. Teach if you're gonna teach somebody, teach them properly. Like me, anytime somebody has asked me to help them learn the game, I've done it. And if anything, I encourage more people. Find somebody that you can actually learn from. I was on Dueling Network earlier this week, and it was this new person. I don't know what their name is. I couldn't tell you what their name is. They had like their name was basically a face. You know what I'm saying? So why don't we just call them Face? But anyway, Face or this person, you know, they came into the public chat and they asked, um, hey, I'm new to the game. I just came to the website. Can anybody teach me how to play it? And you know what these idiots have said? Well, why don't you go play an Exodia deck and you'll figure it out then. I'm just like, what? They don't even know the fundamentals and the basics of the damn game. And the first thing you tell them to do is go play an Exodia deck that they don't even know nothing about. They don't even know what Exodia looks like, let alone find the damn cards and navigate through the damn website. And it's just like, man, these idiots are just running fucking rampant, dogs. Just yeah, it's no way to get rid of them. But if I can help you avoid these people as much as possible, please, to God, if you need help with a deck or anything, please come ask me. Avoid people like that at all costs. It's plenty of people just like me that genuinely want to help you with the game, but unfortunately, it's more idiots than people that want to, genuinely help you. So you just got to be careful and you got to navigate your way through the minefield. So over here, it's safe. With me, again, when I teach people how to play the game, I literally have a build that is set up to teach new people how to play the game. It has normal monsters, it has effect monsters, it has flip effect monsters, it runs fusions, synchros, exceed monsters, spells, traps, continuous spells, equip spells. It runs all these things in a consistent, efficient way to where I'm basically covering all bases with them on how to play the game and catching them up to the modern times of how to summon monsters. I've had net deckers uh, teach people that, and some of you remember this fan day video, and for people that haven't seen it, I'm pretty sure, I wish I can remember which fan day video it was, but I still have it up. And it was just one fan day video where somebody literally thought, I remember they was playing this net deck, and they literally thought that normal summoning and tribute summoning were two completely different things. They did not know that that tribute summoning was normal summoning for monsters that are level 5 and higher. Tribute summoning is different from tributing monsters to special summon. They don't understand these things, and they're learning this from these net deckers, quote unquote top tier players. Again, based on my experience from what I've seen. You know, they're not the only ones, but I'm pretty confident they're not the only ones, but these are the only ones that I've seen do it. And it's just like, man, I don't I don't even know anymore. All I can say is to the new people that are watching this video, you know, again, I apologize. Well, I can't apologize, but I'm gonna say do your best to avoid those types of people. If you can, I am willing to help you learn the game. If you want to learn, uh, it's other people out there. You just gotta find them. Unfortunately, there's more fools than cools, and you're gonna run into more fools than the people that are actually gonna be cool with you and be patient and teach you how to play the game. We're here. It's just that it's more idiots out there than us. So yeah, man, that's pretty much it. You really can't talk shit to somebody that has made their own builds when you yourself are net decking and don't know the rules. Now again, it's not all net deckers. Some people net deck and then they tweak it a little bit to their liking and they try to be original. Like I said, originality isn't dead. Motherfuckers are just lazy. Again, I'm the only person that has custom has probably like the only custom build set of decks in Yu-Gi-Oh right now, and I do take pride in that. And people wondering, well, damn, dude, like how you build your decks? Well, it's not hard. Just research the cards out there. It's a strategy out there that hasn't been discovered yet, and until somebody does, it's just going to be, forgotten about. You could be that person that says, hey, man, I did this, or nobody was bothering with this, and I brought this back to life. Nobody's bothering with Heart Earth Dragon Steel and cards like Sky Palace Gandari, but anytime I duel somebody, the reason why I custom deck so much, because anytime I duel somebody, I feel like they've been up against the net deck so much and the typical so much with that when they duel me, it's almost like a breath of fresh air. I can't tell you how many times where I play one card, some people think, oh, dude, I can't believe you're playing this. And then the strategy just comes out of left field. And, like, at the end of the duel, they're like, man, that was good. Dude, that's a pretty unique deck, man. What do you call that? You know what I mean? And that's basically what I play this game for. I play this to have fun, to be creative, to be, interesting. And that's what I do with my fan day, etc., etc., man. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, feel free to comment, say whatever the hell you like. Motherfuckers can say pizza burgers, walnut milk. I don't give, I don't care. You know, you ain't gotta worry about me policing anything. Just don't be like racial or anything like that. But yeah, man, I'm gonna end the video here and that's it. So let me know, have you ran into anybody like this in particular? Have you run, so like, what do you think about this like that? Again, are you new to the game? Is this a game that you're interested in playing? You know, that's pretty much it, man. So again, thanks for listening and peace. See you guys for the next Yu-Gi-Oh! 101 video.